Tonight's notes are going to be your review from Integrated 1, and it's going to be solving systems of equations. And this page is going to be page 13. So we have solving systems of equations on page 13. So there's lots of ways to solve systems. We can graph it or algebraically, and with algebraically there's actually 3 ways to solve. But let's first talk about what you're finding when you're solving a system. Okay, so let's write down that question. So when you're given a system, what exactly are you finding? Okay, so a solution to a system of equations is a point that makes both equations true. So it's a point that makes both equations true. Another way to word that is, it is the intersection between the 2 equations. Okay, so it's something that makes them both true, and it's that intersection. So we're going to go through all the ways to solve a system, and the first way we're going to talk about is by graphing. So I'm going to first talk about by graphing. Okay, so graphing. We're going to graph the 2 lines y equals 2x and y equals negative 3x plus 5. We're going to just graph both of those. So let's make a coordinate plane to start. Okay, and now I'm going to graph both those lines. So the first one I'm going to graph is y equals 2x. Let's think about what the starting value of that would be. The starting value of that is going to be 0 because there's a little plus 0 on the end there. And then our slope is up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, and then we can make our line from there. So there's our first line. Now our second line is y equals negative 3x plus 5. Start out by thinking about what is the starting value. The starting value is plus 5, so I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then our slope is negative 3, and that means we go down 1, 2, 3 over 1, down 1, 2, 3 over 1. And then we can make our line from there. The solution to the system is where they're crossing. That is the point of intersection. So I'm going to write that. I'm going to circle this. That is the point of intersection. which is the solution. The point of intersection is the solution. So that's how you solve a system, by graphing. You graph the two equations and you find where they're intersecting. The next way you can solve it is using algebra. And there's multiple different ways you can solve it. So the first one I'm going to go over is called equal values method. Okay? An equal values method is best used when you have two equations that start with y equals. So for example, we could have y equals x plus 2 and y equals 2x minus 1. I'm going to choose to use equal values method here because we have a y equals this and we have a y equals that. Since they're both y equals, I can set them equal to each other. That's why it's called equal values method. I'm going to set x plus 2 equal to 2x minus 1 because the y's equal each other. Now it's just basic solving. I'm going to subtract x. That'll be 2 equals 3x minus 1. Add 1. We get 3 equals 3x, which means x equals 1. That's our x coordinate for where that point of intersection is. To find your y coordinate, you have to plug it back into one of these equations. I'm just going to do the first one. So you take this and you plug it in. That'll be y equals 1 plus 2, which means y equals 3. And like I said, it is a point, so it needs to be written as a point, which means your answer is 1, 3, written as a point. And that is equal values method. The next method that I'm going to talk about is going to be substitution. And before I go on to that one, I just want to make a little note on equal values method about the best time to use it. And I'm going to say best to use when you have y equals and y equals. Okay, that's the best time to use equal values method. Now, substitution method is best used when you have one y equals and one something else. So for example, we could have y equals 2x plus 3, and then x plus y equals 15, for example. So we're going to use substitution for this one because we have a y equals 2x plus 3. We're going to take that and substitute in for that y. That'll look like x plus what we have here, 2x plus 3, equals that 15. And again, that's just basic solving, combine like terms. 3x plus 3 equals 15. Subtract 3. So 3x equals 12. Divide by 3, and x equals 4. From there we plug it in. I'm going to choose to plug it into the first one, but it doesn't matter. So I'm going to plug in 4. That'll be y equals 2 times 4 plus 3. Y equals 8 plus 3, which means y equals 11, which means our answer is 4, 11, written as a point. So again, I'm going to write the best time to use this. the best to use this when you have one y equals, and then you have another something else. So we've gone through graphing, we've gone through equal values method, we've gone through substitution method. Now the last one we're going to talk about is going to be elimination method. I have to go on to the next page, so I'm going to go ahead and flip. So this is going to be elimination method. An elimination method is used when you don't have a y equals, you don't have anything like that, you have two equations that don't really look alike. So for example, we have we could have 2x minus y equals negative 2 and negative 2x plus 3y equals 10. Now we don't have any y equals, so we need to solve this another way. With elimination, we add the equations. So looking at this, I have a 2x and a negative 2x. If I add those together, they're going to go away. So I can go like this, and I can add. Now, what I like to do is I like to put a line through my equal signs so that I make sure to keep those lined up. The equal signs staying lined up will really help you with the problem. So let's go ahead and add these equations. 2x plus a negative 2x, that'll be 0x. Negative y plus a 3y will be a plus 2y. Negative 2 plus 10 will be a positive 8. Now I don't need to write the 0y, so I'm just left with 2y equals 8. When you divide by 2, you get y equals 4. Same thing as before. From there, you're going to plug it in. I'm just going to choose to plug it into the first one, but again, it does not matter. So I take this 4 and I plug it in. That'll be 2x minus 4 equals negative 2. Add 4. 2x equals 2. Divide by 2. And we get x equals 1. That means our answer is 1, 4. And the best time to use this one when you have no y equals. Okay? Now I'm going to put some example problems I want you to do at the bottom of the page. I am not going to be going over them in the video, but I do want you to practice, and then we'll talk about them in class the next day. So I'm going to have 3 problems that I want you to do. Problem 1 is going to be y equals 3x plus 4, x plus 2y equals 29. That's the first one. The second one is going to be (2x minus 4y equals 14) and negative x plus 4y equals negative 3. And then the final one, number 3, is going to be y equals 11 minus 2x and y equals x plus 2. Okay. So go ahead and solve those 3 on your paper, and we'll talk about them the next day in class.